guys, my name is Nicola and I'm a neonatal nurse. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about NICU nursing. So I decided to become a neonatal nurse because I absolutely love looking after the babies. And then when I found out that there was a specialism dedicated to looking after just babies, I was sold. In my second year of university, I had the opportunity to work within a neonatal intensive care unit, and my love for the specialism was solidified. Aside from loving looking after the babies, I also really enjoy the aspects that make up neonatal nursing. I really enjoy that neonatal nursing requires you to be very precise. It requires you to be able to pay attention to detail. You need to be able to do tasks in a structured and timely manner. You have very specific tasks that you need to do, very individualized way of doing things. And I absolutely love that. I feel like those sorts of qualities and elements that make up neonatal nursing are traits that I possess within myself. And so I found that the two of loving being a neonatal nurse and having these different tasks that make up the job were a really good mesh for me. So for those that don't know, NICU stands for Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, and a NICU nurse is a nurse who works within the neonatal intensive care unit looking after extremely premature babies and also looking after term newborn infants who have a range of both medical and or surgical conditions. To be a NICU nurse, you need to have a pediatric nursing degree, an adult nursing degree, or a midwifery degree. The responsibilities of a NICU nurse will vary depending on the type of unit that you are working on. Within the UK, there are a range of neonatal units and they are graded from 1 to 3 depending on the severity of patients that they take. You will also have both medical and surgical units as well. So depending on the type of unit that you are working on, you can expect to be changing nappies, administering feeds, giving medications, going to deliveries. You could be out in the community. You could be doing transfers to different hospitals. You can expect to be looking after ventilated patients, post-op patients. It is really, really variable. But one thing that I always say to people, that NICU nursing is more than just cuddling babies. There are so many things that I love about being a neonatal nurse. I love being a part of a patient's journey right from the very start of their life. It is an absolute privilege to be able to be part of that journey and having that input in that patient's life. I love seeing these tiny 24, 25 weekers who have their eyes fused shut and they've got no hair and they can fit in the palm of your hands, growing into these term babies with personalities and attitudes, and they're smashing their milestones. And it's so nice to see patients who have been really, really sick doing so well. I love the bond that you build with these families and how you almost become a part of their family. And I love seeing the progression and the growth in parents as well. You know, when you first meet a lot of parents, they're scared, they're worried, they didn't even know a neonatal unit existed, they don't want to touch their babies, they feel like they're not good enough to be the parents. And then by the end of the journey, they're strong, they're empowered, they know what they're doing, they can advocate for their babies, and it is honestly one of the best things to see. I love the simplicity of some of the tasks that you get to do, being able to give a baby their first bath, their first bottle, and these are everyday tasks that people take for granted with their own babies. And so being able to witness a baby who has been really sick, being able to do normal things that normal babies do is lovely. But I think my favorite thing about neonatal nursing is when the babies prove us wrong. It's when we have all these medical books, we have all the statistics and the numbers and the facts, and we think that this baby is going to do what this book says it's going to do. And that baby says no, and they smash it and they do well and they thrive and they completely stun us. So they prove us wrong. And I absolutely love that. So there are many challenges that come with being a NICU nurse. And one of them for me is the fact that you have to be able to process and accept that sometimes the outcomes are not always going to be favourable, no matter how hard you and your colleagues try. And that is a really tough pill to swallow, because I feel like as healthcare workers, all we want to do is make people feel better. We want to give the best care possible, and knowing that actually, regardless of what you and your colleagues have done, it's not really made a difference to the outcome of a patient is really, really difficult. I find that the ups and the downs that you go through as a NICU nurse really challenging. You can be on a high 1 minute because you've just been to a delivery, you've witnessed twins being born, they don't need to be admitted to the neonatal unit, and you're thinking, oh my God, that was amazing, that was exhilarating, I've just seen these beautiful babies being born. And then in the next breath, you are supporting a family who've just lost their patient, they've just lost their baby, or you're supporting a family who've just found out that the outcome for their child is not going to be great in the long term. And it's that roller coaster ride of sometimes feeling like we're smashing this, we're getting these babies out, they're doing well, and then you get that reality of, oh, actually, okay, maybe we're not smashing it because that outcome wasn't what we was expecting. And that's a really difficult, tough pill that you have to learn to swallow as a NICU nurse. And it's particularly challenging when you are dealing with babies and such a young, fragile life. Neonatal nurses are highly sought after. It is still a specialism that is massively understaffed, and there is a lot of room for progression. Some other career pathways that you can take within neonatology is becoming an advanced neonatal nurse practitioner. You can also become part of the transport team, where you go around the country transferring babies to different neonatal intensive care units. You can progress from being a staff nurse at the bedside to being a sister, a ward manager, a matron. You can become an educator. You can also be a community or discharge nurse. And some hospitals have roles such as family care coordinators, and that involves you working alongside the families and doing a lot of education and teaching. So there are so many different roles within neonates. It just depends what you're interested in. So if it's something that you are considering and you want to go for it, I would 100% advocate that you do. It's an amazing specialism. It's new. There's loads of things that are always changing and happening, and it is honestly one of the most rewarding specialities out there.